Good evening, everyone. Oh, y'all have energy. I thought I would have to ask for it again. I love it. Hi, everyone. It's so wonderful to see you all here. My name is Crystal Allen. I am an MBA and PH student here at Hopkins, and I'm also a strategic advisor for the Social Innovation Lab. Super excited for tonight. We have some amazing pitches coming your way from our wonderful teams. And thank you so much for your support and just showing up for them. I first want to introduce the Director of Student Ventures here at Fast Forward U, Josh Ambrose.
So good to see all of you here in the space. This truly is one of my favorite events of the entire year, and I am so excited to see all of you here. Please, just as a general heads up, bear with us if we have any technology issues or whatever. We'll sort them out. I hear my voice echoing right now, and I know I need to go fix that after I finish talking. But first, just a couple of housekeeping things. If you haven't been in our space before, welcome. We're really glad you're here. This is our co-working space. It's where our accelerator has been meeting all semester. Through those glass doors and to the right are restrooms. Feel free to use them at any point. As similarly, right back this hallway right here, we have 2 phone booths. If you get a phone call, we ask that you please step into the phone booth, not into the hallway, not over there, into a phone booth or outside the building, just because it's a big open space, your voice will echo. Water, food over there. There's all kinds of good stuff. We do ask, so we have to stay here late tonight and clean up. So we would just ask that at the end of the evening, please help us in making sure that your trash is put away. For those of you with children, we have reserved these 2 glassed-in rooms right behind us. I have multiple children of myself, and I love kids. But tonight is all about our teams. And so if at any point your children start getting a little, what up in Pennsylvania we call rutschity, feel free to take them back into those rooms and just close the door for whatever time you need. Okay, cool. I'm just curious, how many people here in the audience have been involved with SIL in the past as a judge, as a mentor, as a faculty person, or a former team member, or this current cohort? Can you go ahead and raise your hands? Look at that. Welcome back. Thanks so much for being here, everybody. That's so cool. So this is a decade-long program that came out of Student Initiative, and it's been doing amazing work here in Baltimore, blending both community and the Hopkins campus and investing in entrepreneurs, go-getters and doers who are having a huge impact on the world. Since its initial conception, SIL has worked with over 120 teams, which is amazing. Not only that, but those 120 teams have so far, to the best of our knowledge, raised over $90 million in funding since working with us. We don't claim that we are responsible for all that, but we celebrate it. It's really cool and it's really exciting. Let's give all those ventures a round of applause. That's so really cool. They have employed over 400 people, and tonight we are going to add to that number. We're going to add another $75,000 to that pot, which we are so excited for. And as part of that, I have to shout out our grants. Our grants are philanthropic. They are non-dilutive, meaning we do not take ownership in any of the companies you see here tonight. They own everything that they create, and the money that we give them is theirs to spend on their venture and to enable their good work. This is made possible by a number of different donors. Shouted out here on the board, Michael and Jessica Brooks, Brett Harvey and Janet Marie Smith, Mary Miller, and Michael Rosenbaum. So our deepest of appreciation to them and major shout out to all of them. So let's give them a round of applause and a thank you. Okay, the last thing that I'm gonna say from the front of the room this evening is I'm just so thrilled to introduce to you our director of the Social Innovation Lab this year, Anthony Waters. And for those of you who haven't met him before, he's going to tell you a little bit about his own story and how he came up through SIL himself. This is the first time in SIL's history where it is being helmed by somebody who came up through the cohort themselves. Someone here from Baltimore making an amazing impact. And I couldn't be prouder to be working alongside him and supporting him in all that he does, because I think he is rocking it and making a big difference. So can I get a huge round of applause, especially from our cohort this evening, to welcome Anthony?
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you all for being here today. This is a wonderful celebration for 10 social impact organizations who are making change right here in Baltimore City. I think that this idea of a social enterprise, right? Organizations who are impact driven, who want to create change, who want to make a difference, right? Who also are able to build scalable revenue models so that they can grow, they can hire people from their community, and so that it can really create long-lasting change in Baltimore. And so, as Josh said, I am born and raised from Baltimore, Maryland. I'm also a graduate of the Johns Hopkins Business School, and I'm also an alumni of the Social Innovation Lab. So I've kind of sat on all sides of this program, and it is extremely important to me because I've seen the effects of how it can transform the life of an entrepreneur who wants to make a difference. In 2019, myself and my business partner, Alex, actually were in Social Innovation Lab for our health startup, More Water Co., which uses exercise to improve health outcomes for those with recovering from stroke, diabetes, or high blood pressure. And through this process, I built a bond with the cohort, similarly to how this cohort has formed a bond and come together to work with each other and collaborate so they can solve problems and create the change that they want to see. So that's tonight what we're celebrating. So I want y'all to give them a round of applause. I'm gonna keep reminding you all to give a lot of energy. We're talking about change makers. We're talking about revolutionaries. We're talking about people that are not only building businesses, but they are creating change in our community. So we're gonna give them one more round of applause. All right, they need y'all energy tonight. They need y'all energy tonight. So we're gonna celebrate them. All right, before we get there, I just wanna run through a couple of slides and thank our strategic advisors from the Carey Business School, Matthew Reeds, who is graduating with his MBA in Analytics, Leadership, and Innovation from Hopkins. And Crystal Allen over there, who is not only getting her MBA focused in health technology and innovation, she's also getting her MPH from Bloomberg Public Health School here at Hopkins. So give her a round of applause for that. I don't know how she manages it all. All right. And I also have to thank our JHTV team, starting with Sephora. Where's Sephora? Sephora has jumped right in. She's our student program manager. Did I break the slideshow? Oh. She's our student program manager who's not responsible at all for SIL, but took the initiative to jump in full steam ahead because she saw how she could help to also make a difference in the community that is not hers, but is like the one she grew up into. So not because she's paid to do it, but because she wants to do it. So let's give her a round of applause for her dedication. Mario Ligon, who is not here today, but she is our JHTV Presidential Fellow who helped us get a lot of work done, helped with the podcast, and helped with just a lot of strategic stuff to help get the ball rolling in my first year. And I have to thank Elena. Is Elena around? Elena. Nothing at all happens in this building without Elena. She is by far the most important person here. We couldn't have done this without you, so we want to show her some love too. All right. I also wanted to do one more shout out to Kunal Parikh, who is in the building. He is the founder and originator of the Social Innovation Lab here at Hopkins. He started this program as a student organization, and we have now grown it into part of the Hopkins ecosystem. We're able to scale and really be impactful and take what he started to the next level. So we want to show him some love, celebrate him as well. Thank you for being here. All right, well, and last but not least, our SIL speakers. Are any of our speakers who was a mentor or speaker this year at the Social Innovation Lab in the room right now? If you are, just raise your hand or stand up. There we go. Yes, Adiola's over there. She definitely helped us out. All right. So these speakers, you can see how all of these speakers are entrepreneurs or they work in the ecosystem and they came and they helped our cohort to learn. They shared their experiences. We had conversations and we found solutions to their problems. All right. And so we want to show them some love too. So let's give them one more round of applause. So let's just to give you a little bit about the format, right? We had 10 social enterprises that came through our cohort this year. They spent 6 months with us, right? And we went through a curriculum where they studied customer discovery. They went out and talked to people in the community and built their solution alongside them. Then we talked about how to build a business model, how to do partnerships, how to do marketing, and all culminating and leading up to today, where they've refined and iterated around their business plan so that they can build the most innovative and successful social enterprise and really see their impact come to life. So today we're going to celebrate them. It's 10 teams. They're all going to pitch and showcase the work that they've done over the last 6 months and beyond. And we're going to end the night with 3 awards that we're going to give out. So everybody in the Social Innovation Lab got $5,000 this year. So let's clap it up for that. That's huge. I'm a little jealous. When I was in Social Innovation Lab, we only got $1,000. So I'm happy for them. Also tonight, you all are gonna help us decide 2 $4,000 prize winners. All right, so we're gonna need you to be locked in. Don't leave early. We need you to watch everybody. We're gonna have you vote on your favorite teams. And two of the teams tonight are gonna win $4,000 based on your decision. No pressure. And then last but not least, the cohort itself, every team in the cohort got a chance to vote and they decided who in our cohort will win the $20,000 grand prize. All right, so we're gonna announce that at the end of the night as well. All right, so without further ado, we're gonna get started. Going pretty good. All right, the first founder that I'm gonna bring up, you can't help but fall in love with her passion and the way she talks about the problem and her lived experience through the problem that she's trying to solve and the difference that she's making in the lives of veterans in Baltimore and beyond. Without further ado, Katie, come on up.
Did you know that Peace Corps volunteers actually take the same oath to protect and defend our Constitution that our military does? We just happen to do that without access to the $2 trillion budget that our Department of Defense has every year. My name is Katie Kilby, and while I'm so incredibly proud of my husband's service and everything that he's given, I love being the one in the house to say that I served in the real Corps as a Peace Corps volunteer. Every step along this seemingly transient journey has brought me right here to Reveille Grounds. I had the privilege to sit with wounded warriors and their families at bedside during some of the hardest moments of their lives. But it's also a very real mission for me. 3 years ago or so, my husband and I were attending our last Marine Corps ball before he retired. As we were sitting at the table with his buddies, one of those chairs was missing, or there wasn't a person in that chair. And that chair should have had one of John's buddies in there. But we found out, talking among the group, that he had been a little uncharacteristically late to drill just that morning. He'd been laid off from his civilian job. He was separated from his wife, and he was in a really dark place. So that group, the Marines, did what they're trained to do. They rallied around, they made a plan, and they actually were able to get this Marine onto active duty orders at one of the nation's top military treatment facilities. I was sitting there too, so I got to take this roadmap of my own existence and start to create recommendations around the programs, resources, and opportunities that existed to wrap around and support that family. When he got to the treatment facility, he had been looking at a medical discharge, which meant not only would he receive his retirement benefits at the not only would he not get his benefits at 60, but he ran the risk of losing them entirely. His Marines charted that path forward, and he was able to get a retirement from the Marine Corps, and his family was able to get those benefits and keep their health insurance right away. Not the right people were sitting around that table that night to jump into action, to rally support and really move the needle. And last we heard, that family is doing well together. But not every family, every individual who wore a uniform has access to that opportunity. What they experience is a lot of this, which is designed to overwhelm you. The slide is not the organizations on it, but there's a lot of noise. It's loud. Our organizations, there are 46,000 veteran organizations across the country that are trying to stand in the gap of a $380 billion VA Veterans Affairs budget that's missing the mark. As a result, we have those 46,000 organizations. We have 88,000 people last month called into the Veterans Crisis Line seeking for support in 1 month. More than 15% of our active duty families are food insecure, and we've lost more than 4 times the number of veterans and active duty service members to suicide than we have to combat operations since 9/11. Individuals and families are struggling to get to the right resource the first time. They're confused, they're overwhelmed, they're hitting a brick wall when they're told you're too hurt, not hurt enough, or you served at the wrong time. Our community-based organizations are watering down their missions in order to stretch their impact further, and they're competing for those resources. And our businesses have no idea the magic and the potential of veteran-led talent that could be infusing into their bottom line. We envision something different, a framework for collective impact where mutual benefit is prioritized, where there's shared accountability, where our individuals and families are able to directly connect right with the community-based organizations that are already out there who are looking for their ideal client. Our community-based organizations will also be interfacing directly with their target demographic, and our corporate business partners are given the opportunity to innovate, look at their employee engagement differently, maybe even outsource some of their talent pipelines in a very tough job market to recruit and retain talent right now. We also can provide very innovative ways to meet their bottom line as well as their corporate and social responsibility goals, while all leaning on it together. As the founder of Reveille Grounds, I am looking to find a way to provide cohesion and collaboration within the military community that I very much call my own and have for almost 40 years. We are building and housing a revolutionary, collective impact-driven place that connects people, convenes resources, and curates opportunities so that we can all in our communities leverage veteran talent and thrive together. We envision Baltimore's very first veteran and community impact hub, a place where you can come in, experience psychological safety, meet with a mental health professional, gather together, meet with a claims clinic to talk about your veterans benefits, but also be able to get a direct quality referral from one organization to another to treat and support you holistically. We want to see this one-stop shop. And after 5 years of dreaming and 2 years of actively looking, we're going home. We will be moving into the Gaslight Square building in Carroll Camden. And this beautiful space is going to become a third space for not only the military and veteran connected community, but also for those service providers that are providing and adding value to this entire city. So imagine this room filled like this, seminars, classes, workshops, direct access to the people that need you most, but also the chance to be around like-minded folks as we all transition. because I envision a culture that is, instead of just thank you for your service, that we are empowering our veterans, we're wrapping our arms around them, we are helping them upskill and really leverage their unique skills and assets so that they can continue to be the leaders that this country trained them to be, and the leaders that this city and our communities and frankly our nation so desperately needs. I envision in that space even the opportunity to bring programs and opportunities that don't even yet exist yet. The goal here is not to add additional opportunities or organizations to that sea of goodwill, rather to work together to build a community that is humble enough where everyone recognizes where one mission ends and somebody else's begins, and to really be that tide that will lift all boats. And now every single one of you are a part of that mission because you belong too, and we can all do this together. So thank you.
Hello, Kim. Great job, great job, great job. Keep clapping, keep clapping. One more time. Yes, energy, energy, energy. I love it. We can keep clapping. Creating spaces for our veterans to get the resources they need, and connecting the business community to the experiences and skills and the expertise of those same veterans. It's a wonderful thing. All right. Let's see. So before we go on to the next, we like to highlight some of the things that our alumni are doing in the space. So Ty Courtney Edwards is the founding director of Ballet After Dark. They just raised $30,000 through a grant through Foot Locker and the LISC that will expand the work that they're doing with Black survivors, youth, and women through dance therapy and more. So we can clap for that too. This is just another shining example of the work that the SIL community is doing. Our alumni are doing great things. All right. Next up, we are going to bring up Erica Myers, who is the founder of Fosterpreneur, who is creating space for folks aging out of the foster care system that have access to the resources they need to grow. But I will let her do all of the talking. Please, please, please give it up for Erica. Thank you.
Question. How many of you guys in the room know someone who aged out the foster care system or who was in foster care at any moment in time? Another question. Those of you who know someone who was in the foster care system, how many of those individuals have started their own business or are currently entrepreneurs? Good evening, everyone. My name is Erica Myers, and I am the founder and the CEO of Fosterpreneur. Our mission at Fosterpreneur is to empower foster care alumni with entrepreneur coaching so they can become successful entrepreneurs. Let me tell you where our story begins. Our story began in Miami in 2012 at Casa Valentina. Casa Valentina is a social impact organization that provides subsidized housing, life skills, training, and development for young people who've aged out the foster care system in South Florida. I started off as an intern at Casa Valentina, and they introduced me to the world of foster care. I learned so much from the young women, the young men, and the young moms who were members of Casa Valentina community. I had the opportunity to meet incredible residents, such as LaQuanda, who's featured in this photo right here. Little did LaQuanda and the other residents at Casa Valentina know they would be the impetus for the creation of Fosterpreneur. What's the problem? The problem is, according to the Annie E. Casey Foundation, on average, 20,000 young people age out the foster care system each and every year in the United States. And by the time many of those young people reach their mid-20s, approximately 50% of those individuals don't have a viable plan for their careers. Now let's take this to a micro level for a moment. Currently, in the state of Maryland, there are 4,000 young people in the foster care system. And then on average, 2/3 of young adults who age out the foster care system in the state of Maryland age out in the jurisdiction of Baltimore City alone. On top of these statistics, a great deal of foster care youth deal with a lot of trauma in their lives. This can lead to higher rates of incarceration, higher teenage pregnancy rates, higher high school dropout rates, and higher rates of homelessness. Despite these negative outcomes, there is still so much possibility. Foster care youth are resilient and gritty, and they're able to navigate systems, which are key components that help breed successful entrepreneurship. I would like to introduce you to Anthony. Anthony is a fosterpreneur alumnus from the class of 2020. Anthony is a proud graduate of Forest Park Senior High School here in Baltimore, and he attended, in his words, the illustrious University of Maryland Eastern Shore. In 2020, Anthony was an aspiring photographer with no clients. Anthony decided to enroll in our fosterpreneur program as a result of leaning into our fosterpreneur supportive network, attending every single session, and seizing every opportunity through the fosterpreneur network. He went from being barely booked to booked and busy. And as a result of his hard work and dedication, his work has been featured in Essence, Forbes, and he's been contracted for national music festivals such as the Made in America Festival in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And currently, you can see his work as a member of the Baltimore homecoming team. Fosterpreneur is a 501c3 that uses grants and donor support. What we do, we introduce foster care alumni between the ages of 18 to early 30s to entrepreneurship at no cost to them. We do this through an 8-week virtual cohort model. And during these 8 weeks, our students are receiving business instruction coupled with the social emotional support. Our topics range from mindset development. We allow our students to untap their unique genius that they bring to the table. On top of that, decision making, helping our students distinguish the difference between facts and feelings when it comes to making decisions in business. And on top of that, target customer, allowing our students to identify who their target customer is, and then going out and having to talk to their target customer. And while they're going through our business curriculum, they're receiving the social emotional support along the way. What that looks like is mental health referrals. That looks like relationship management and support. That also looks like employment support and just positive reinforcement along the way. So why Fosterpreneur? What we do at Fosterpreneur, we create an environment that is unique to the lived experience of so many individuals in the foster care system. And we do this through a trauma-informed approach. And the way that we have done this is staying on top of the latest research and trends tied to trauma-informed approaches and ensuring that our students have the support that they need. Our results. So since we've launched our virtual cohort model in the fall of 2020, we have served approximately 30 young people across the US. We've had students apply to our program from every region of the country, from the Northeast all the way to the West Coast. In addition to that, we have had 18 students successfully complete our graduation ceremonies as well. And on top of our results, our students have interesting things to say about their experience at Fosterpreneur. Ace in Minnesota said that she enjoyed her experience at Fosterpreneur because it was one of the best decisions that she made. She's been able to connect with Erica, myself, and William through the one-on-one connections and having a community of support, people that believed in her and held her accountable to the things that she wanted to do. And Ishanti in Georgia said that it was the best business decision that she ever made. And Kiera here in Baltimore said that it's a program for self-development. It helps you do the things that you want to accomplish in life. So there are other individuals, I should say organizations in the space that are doing youth entrepreneurship work, from a national lens to more of a local-based approach. And that includes Venture Lab, CASE, which is a program through the Department of Human Services that allows those who receive public assistance get introduced to entrepreneurship, and Jubilee Arts, which is a local-based organization here in Baltimore that introduces entrepreneurship to youth across the city. However, I'm delighted to share that Fosterpreneur is the only program in the United States that is specifically made and created for foster care alumni through a trauma-informed approach. So what's next for us? Fundraising is what's next for us. We are extremely proud of the things that we've been able to do with limited resources. And in order to really ensure that we are fully supporting our youth, we are continuing to fundraise. And what that looks like is gaining more seed capital so that we can help our entrepreneurs go to the next level in their business. And on top of that, we're working on increasing our cohort size by 50% and also creating another iteration of Fosterpreneur that allows for our students who want to scale their business beside their introductory level. And then also lastly, enhancing our alumni supportive network beyond the 8 weeks that they're enrolled in our program. I would like to thank each and every one of you guys for being a part of this community. As you learned during this presentation, there are foster care alumni everywhere, and all of them deserve the opportunity to live their dreams and be able to use entrepreneurship as a vehicle to disrupt their families, which disrupts their immediate neighborhoods, which disrupts cities, which disrupts states, and can have a national impact as well. So I invite you to take out your phones, connect with us so that you can either be a supporter, you can be a volunteer, or you can be a donor and just be enrolled in the vision that we have here at Fosterpreneur. Thank you so much.
Keep clapping, keep clapping, keep clapping. Yes. Transformational work. Growing up in Baltimore City, although I had both of my parents, I grew up around a lot of peers who went through the foster care system, and I seen firsthand what it's like for kids to have to go through that. So to build programming and support for those who feel left out, those who are often left without those resources, is extremely important. So we're gonna give it one more round of applause for that. All right, so we're gonna take 1 second of the little stretch break. I want y'all to keep your energy up. So if you need to stand up, move around, maybe get some water. If you haven't got food, you might want to try that. All right, but quickly, 1 minute and 30 seconds or so. All right, we're gonna allow you to do that. Also, we want to shout out to our 30 folks that are on Zoom right now tuning in. We appreciate the support. Make sure you stay tuned in. We're gonna need you later for the Audience Choice Award. All right, let's try to get back to our seats so we can continue the program. Gonna take about 1 more minute, y'all. 1 more minute to get back seated. Now, I hope y'all are taking mental notes. Y'all gotta vote. This is almost like Shark Tank. If you need, just take your cell phone out and start taking notes on the teams. If you have a pen and pad and you want to start taking notes on the teams, because at the end, you're going to decide who wins two $4,000 prizes, all right? No pressure, no pressure, no pressure. Oh, y'all did good. I said 1 minute and 30 seconds, and y'all was like back in 1 minute and 25. All right, so we're going to keep the program going. Next up, we're going to bring up Toyin from Komoki, who is creating a platform that allows ethnic communities to be able to connect with ethnic businesses in their community. And I'll turn it over and let her do the rest. Let's clap it in and give her a round of applause.
Thank you, Anthony. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Can you guys hear me? All right, good evening. I want to say thank you to the Social Innovation Lab, to the team, Joshua and Anthony, for having me here. This evening, I want to talk about minority businesses. Oh, technical difficulties, guys. Okay. My name is Toyin Ajishimola, and I'm here to talk about minority businesses. Did you guys know that 8 out of every 10 minority business fail within the first 18 months of operation? Can you guys hear me? Okay, thank you. 8 out of every 10 minority businesses fail, and that is a huge problem that we're seeing all across the board. You guys know why these businesses are failing? They're failing due to institutional barriers that exist in the community. They're failing due to inadequate marketing strategies, lack of funding in these communities, and so many other things that we're not going to get into tonight. But here at Komoki, we can't address every single one of those issues that are affecting ethnic minority communities. But at Komoki, we address the business side of the connection, and we address also the marketing strategies that are affecting businesses in growing and amplifying their businesses. What is Komoki, guys? So Komoki is a mobile platform which allows ethnic minority businesses to be amplified in their local community. So on the Komoki platform, you can find local Asian, Hispanic, African, you name it, ethnic minority businesses on the app. And it's completely free for users to download and engage with their communities. On the business side, businesses are able to download this app and leverage the dashboard, which offers them tools and insights into the communities they engage with. So basically, when they download Komoki, they have a dashboard on the back end, which they can actually take a look and see the insights for the communities they're serving and identify the best ways to reach those target audiences and help their businesses grow. So basically, we're doing the research work for them and helping them amplify themselves in their local communities. Here we have an example of the app and what it looks like and some of the features of the app currently. Okay, so you're probably wondering how we make money from Komoki. So we have in-app advertising. Businesses are able to pay to amplify their businesses and get in front of the customers who need their products and services, who are in their community, and also actually value the products and services that they offer. We also have premium offerings, which allows businesses to access tools, workshops, events, and engage with other business users that can help them grow and give them the resources they need to stay alive and thriving and not just afloat like many businesses are currently doing right now. Our team brings together a combined experience of over 10 years, leveraging data and amplifying these communities. And also they bring the experience in what is it called? Basically, they bring together experience making impactful changes. We have folks that come from Meta, Clump, who understand this community and who understand their needs. Okay, so let's talk about our competitors. So how many of you guys know Yelp, for example? Great. You know Google. Basically, many of you use Google to get here today. How many of you knew this place before today? Oh, okay, all right. So you were able to use Google to find this place. Okay, so many of these B2C platforms, they offer visibility for ethnic minority businesses, but I'm not gonna focus on all of them. I'm just gonna talk about Yelp this evening. So in 2021, during the George Floyd debacle, a lot of businesses and corporations started getting in front of, I guess the media and saying that they wanted to support ethnic minority businesses, but we know they were just, using the moment to tell communities that they care about them. So in 2021, Yelp created a attribute tool that allowed businesses to identify Asian, Hispanic, Black businesses on their platform. But we assessed at Komoki that attribute tool and found that they were missing opportunities to amplify immigrant minority businesses, North African immigrants, Mediterranean immigrants, so many immigrants. They were missing that subset of data. So they basically were doing the work, but missing many groups that we at Komoki are targeting. I would just say, our core value at Komoki is that we care about this group and we are this group. Like I am an ethnic minority business owner and I understand this group and I want to make sure that they have the advantages and the every single tool they need to grow their business. And why are we doing all of this right now, guys? So minorities start more than 25% of all businesses that the US Bureau of Labor Statistics expects to grow the fastest over the next decade. So in the next 10 years, you're gonna see minority businesses everywhere. And so now they represent a $1.8 billion market, and we need to get in front of these groups right now. Since we've started Komoki, which was over a year ago, with the little resources we've had, we've increased visibility in the DMV in Baltimore for over 600 minority businesses. We've also launched a beta version of this app, which is currently available on the App Store. And we've created an ethnic minority peer network for ethnic minority businesses to convene and to talk to each other and identify opportunities for themselves to grow. We could probably do so much more, but we're gonna need your help, guys. We are on a mission to increase economic outcomes for ethnic minority groups by amplifying these businesses and putting them on the forefront of their communities. And I need your help, guys. So who's with me this evening? Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes. Keep it going. Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. Amazing work, amazing work, amazing work. Make sure y'all, oops. Make sure y'all follow Kamoki and download it. It's on the App Store. All right, find your ethnic restaurants, doctors, all those kinds of things. One thing to be said about the last three presenters you heard, and I think it could be said about everybody in our cohort, it come from lived experiences, right? Toyin talks about all the time how she had to be the one to call the doctors and the different businesses for her father, who was an immigrant, who couldn't necessarily communicate and who couldn't find those resources on his own, right? So she found a solution for it. Katie was around military veterans and saw that they had a problem, including her husband and his friends. And so she created a solution for it. And we'll continue to see that, Erica as well, with fosterpreneurs. And so we'll continue to see that through the night. I learned at Baltimore Corp that people with the lived experiences usually have the best solutions to the problem. So that's just something to keep in mind as you watch these entrepreneurs talk about the work that they're doing. All right. Another alumni shout out, Clear Mask, generated over $40 million in revenue after launching during the pandemic for their innovative transparent mask. All right, so that's just another example of the work that folks that come out of the Social Innovation Lab are doing. It's powerful stuff. They're making a lot of money. All right, so next up, we're gonna bring up Peter and Eva from No Boundary, who is helping folks to, I think something going on with my mic, who are helping folks to learn digital skills so they can perform better in the workplace. All right, come on up, Peter.
Hi, everyone. I am Peter. As a teacher and now a professor, I've always thought about how people learn best. So imagine for yourself your ideal class. For me, that ideal class would have, clicking forward, there we go, personal interactions. It would have a diversity of experiences, skills empowerment, and maybe this is just the professor and me, everyone would come prepared for class, of course. All right, there we go. I would venture to guess that many of you thought that personal interactions and diversity of experiences were also important to you. However, in many ways, this seems very much at odds with how we educate people in place here in the United States and around the world. We often learn with people who are just like us. In the case of Baltimore and space of the United States, learning in place is shaped by past, persistent, and deliberate efforts to segregate learning spaces. Redlining in Baltimore and other factors that contribute to this pattern is a reason why we often learn with people who are similar socioeconomically, culturally, racially, even attitudinally. Research shows that segregated education here in Baltimore continues to persist, and this reality has shaped many gaps and opportunities. We often talk about unemployment, and here in Baltimore, the unemployment rate, the official rate is fairly low, 4.5%. But that belies some other things that are at work, and particularly underemployment, which is not captured in those numbers. And if we look at that, that is particularly a challenge for career advancement here in Baltimore City. And learning in place contributes to this reality. A similar experience is found in cities around the world, including Cape Town, South Africa, where you can't escape the inequality that you see here, 25 years after the end of apartheid and an imperfect liberation in the country. But the real problem of underemployment is also here in South Africa, where 40% are under or unemployed between the ages of 25 to 34 years old in South Africa. And again, the similar things of segregated spaces continue to enhance and deepen this existing inequality. Research shows that this is bad for learning. More diverse learning spaces provide advantages to learners, including shaping greater empathy and understanding. And beyond this, you've often heard the phrase local problems to local solutions, but sometimes it's really important to look beyond our community for new and innovative ideas. In addition to that, We know that diverse learning environments unlock greater collaboration and competencies for collaborating at higher levels. For companies these days, both small and large, we're now seeing that companies are needing to have teams that are distributed across time zones. And this means that we're collaborating in truly global spaces as we see the rise of many countries around the world, such as Nigeria, Brazil, and the Philippines. Now, how might we create skill-intensive and diverse learning spaces? At No Boundary, we believe that we have at least part of this answer. We offer programs and a platform that allows individuals and institutions around the world to achieve digital skills, mastery, and expertise together. We use AI driven by our own judgment as well to craft unique and diverse cohorts with the best chances for success. Let me tell you how it works. It begins with an adaptive interview where you pick your questions. This helps us learn about you, your background, where you're coming from, what skills you hope to learn, as well as your skills level. Think of this like completing a dating profile, but for learning. Then we match learners into cohort communities with similar professional goals, but of very different backgrounds, while also bringing them together on the platform. Our instructors similarly fill out a similar adaptive interview such that we know that our skills and mentors are able to teach at high levels, but also know how our learners learn best. We use this technology to power our programs in data science, tech development, and creative digital skills. So we offer live skills lessons with personalized mentorship and learner collaboration at our proprietary community with programs that last between 4 weeks to 6 months, while also integrating it into every learner's daily lives. A central feature of our program is the individual and group capstone project, in which our learners apply these skills that they learn in real world situations. So let me talk about that. The project-based approach allows us to foster cross-cultural problem solving without boundaries. Also, there are many certifications in digital skills today. I'm sure many of you seen them, and CVs and resumes are full with a list of certifications people have. But there's a big gap between expertise and exposure to those digital skills. We believe in show rather than tell. And so as part of our program, you complete a capstone project that demonstrates your skills, but also applies that to solving some of the great challenges that we have, such as educational inequality, which I'm talking about here, but also issues like food insecurity. This project-based learning contributes to the knowledge sharing that takes place. I want to highlight 2 projects. I want you to meet Roland from Cote d'Ivoire originally, who joins us here tonight. Roland wanted to learn new skills to enhance food and nutrition intervention in his home country of Cote d'Ivoire. And so he came to No Boundary to learn about all the possibilities of doing that and created a capstone project that enabled him to do data analytics and enhance his career. He actually got a job interview on the back of doing our program here at the Bloomberg School for Public Health at Johns Hopkins University and came to the United States back in September of last year. We also have Etta of Cameroon, who realized that students in her home country face limited knowledge of career guidance and pathways. So in our programs, she designed a career mentoring platform in Cameroon that students could interact with, that she used by using the skills and technology training that she received in the program. In other words, it's about creating a real project that shows and demonstrates your skills. Participants like Roland and Etta drive our impact. Our organization contributes to achieving United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, SDG 4, quality of education, and SDG 8, economic development. But the best thing of Roland and Etta or anyone in our programs is they're not just coders or tech enthusiasts, but they're those that are truly collaborative and also creative innovators. To date, our participants are emerging professionals between the ages of 25 and 45 who are interested in employment opportunities, career advancement, or just want an international learning experience. Our impact scholarship approach allows us to subsidize our programs to achieve accessibility. We also have an enterprise strategy in which business pay a commission to recruit top talent alongside partnerships with universities to implement our modules of our learning platform. As you can see, we started our work in emerging countries, particularly in African countries, where my expertise lies as a professor. And we have participants and alumni now from over 35 countries worldwide, as well as the United States and Europe. We have welcomed 700 participants and over 300 impact projects have been completed. We have formed partnerships with universities, NGOs, and governments to advance our global learning network. As we continue to grow here in Baltimore, we are partnering with educational institutions that share our vision for multicultural skills education. Behind our innovative approach and mission are minority and multicultural founders who are technologists and development experts. I'm a professor focusing on international education and data science. And I am here also with Eva, our CFO, who is a financial analyst and graduating next week from the Carey School of Business. And we also are joined by our colleagues Violet and Jalili Adibi, who are also development experts and those that are technologists as well. We believe that the best skills education is global and not in place. That's why we believe in learning and knowledge sharing without boundaries. We invite you to join us and learn more about our programs and signing up. You might just find your ideal class with us. Thank you very much.
Great job. Come on, come on. Keep clapping, keep clapping, keep clapping. Transformative work across the entire globe, right? Learning how we can learn in place together. We can learn together and improve our skills. I need to take a digital upskilling course myself. So I might be coming to find you, Peter. Peter also failed to mention one of their other co-founders that they brought to every single session just about their baby daughter. So we're gonna give them a round of applause because that's real dedication as well. When you're an entrepreneur, you gotta be able to do it all. You gotta be able to do it all. All right, keep it going. All right, so Peter and Eva and Violet represent one of our Johns Hopkins students teams. All right, so this cohort is a mix of Johns Hopkins students teams and teams from the community. And we mixed them all up in one cohort so they could collaborate and work together. Next, I'm gonna bring up one of our other student teams who are doing some more transformational work in Baltimore City classrooms. All right, so without further ado, Seedling, come on.
Hi everyone. Hi everyone. This is work. Okay. I wanted to show you this map of Baltimore that represents healthy food priority areas. And a healthy food priority area is an area where a grocery store is more than a fourth mile away. And those are represented in all the red splotches. And that's pretty much scattered across all of Baltimore. And the reason why it's so important to know this is because with these healthy food priority areas, typically the residents that live there don't have access to a car. So what happens is they'll go to the local convenience store and they're going to be buying low cost, high calorie foods. And this is a problem because nutrition is such a big component of our lives. And in Baltimore, food priority areas plague communities while denying access to sustenance and wellness. And because of food priority areas, 1 in 3 children in Baltimore are food insecure. And right when things can get worse, Baltimore recently defunded the agriculture program. We can do better. Hi, I'm Arshdeep. I'm the president of Seedling, and we're working towards creating greater exposure for Baltimoreans to fresh food systems through sustainable education. For our value proposition, we've created an interdisciplinary year-long curriculum that really harps on food systems curriculum. And then it also looks at technical skills to make sure that students are prepared for the workforce. Also, through engaging instruction, we've allowed a way to gather interest in this field so that students can really
excel, and also want to plant in the future. We've also subsidized units for residents in food priority areas so that they can be able to purchase the units. But how does our curriculum work? So we've broken up into two phases. The left side is our core curriculum, and then the right side is our accessory curriculum. And the way it works is that in the core curriculum, we first teach, what is hydroponics? And in this curriculum, what happens is we teach students how to make a hydroponics unit, how to grow food in hydroponics units, and how to maintain it. In the food systems curriculum, what we do is we teach students about food insecurity and how food priority areas existed in the first place. And another big thing is a lot of people we've interviewed have said that they think that food goes from farm to the grocery store, which is not true. There's a huge regulatory process that goes into making sure that food is safe, healthy to consume so that it can go to the grocery store. And because of that, healthy food also gets thrown away. For growing plants, we talk about the importance of the plants in our ecosystem and why we need it in the first place. For nutrition, for hydroponics, we have a nutrient powder blend. And with just basic biochemistry, we're able to break down each component of the powder. And we tell students why each powder or each component of that powder is so important for plant growth. So for the next four phases, this is the accessory curriculum. We teach water quality testing. So in this curriculum, we talk about why acidity and alkalinity of the water is so important and how that affects plant growth, as well as if there's any issues with the water. For computer-aided design, CAD, we teach students how to do 3D modeling so they can create equitable solutions to solve any issues related to agriculture or whatever their heart desires. We used it to make hinges, and I'll talk about that later. And for the business curriculum, we teach basic business entrepreneurship skills, but really, this really teaches students how to do research for their own venture, but that can also help them for science-related matters. And then for Arduino, we teach students how to do basic coding, so whether they want to learn how to turn on and off a light or whatever they want to do. So all of it really relates to agriculture, but why did we choose hydroponics over traditional gardening? And the reason for that, it's because it's space and resource efficient. So with traditional gardening, you can grow lettuce within like 7 to 8 weeks, but with hydroponics, you can grow lettuce in 3 to 4 weeks. So it's really faster and it's really aligned. It works well with the curriculum lifestyle. And we've also grown our own spinach. So we really know the real impact it has on our own diets, and we know the impact it can provide for other people as well. And on the unit itself, the black hinges are 3D printed. For our business model, so we get paid to teach at schools and anyone that wants to purchase our units on the website. And then there's a subscription service where like if you want to renew like your soil or your nutrient. We partnered with Green Street Academy, North Bay Academy, First Fruits Farm, the Food Project, Patagonia, For My Kids, and our donor, So What Else? And with this, we've been able to impact over 150 kids every week. And through that, it's with 7 sessions with 40 curriculum hours. And at the end, we give the students a hydroponic mason. So with curriculum feedback, we've gotten a lot of useful feedback. And the way it works is that we got 60% for enjoyment. And that's because when we asked the students, oh, why didn't you like the curriculum? A lot of them said that we're one of the only classes that grades homework on correctness and completion. And we really pride ourselves on that because we're kind of enforcing the standard so that when they go on to higher education, they don't get thrown away. And also what's really interesting is 93% said that this curriculum was new to them after the school telling us that they already teach this. So it really shows that we're targeting a gap that really needs to be addressed. For our market opportunity, this space is growing tremendously at 20.7%. So it's a really exciting field to jump into. And for our bigger unit, it's $100. And that's only because it's a commercial grade food safe container. So it's FDA approved and BPA free. So that really drives up the cost. For a weekly revenue model, we typically charge $100 a session. And with that, we're able to generate like the 530 profit value if we teach at, in this case, 8 locations. But The reason why we're able to generate such a high profit is because that number doesn't really include the money we spend for marketing or like paying employees, because there's two models structured for that. For traction, we've gathered over $18,000 of revenue, and for our timeline, we're pretty much on track. This fall, we plan to expand to more schools, and also we want to be an official Baltimore City Public School vendor. And this is our team. What's really cool about our team is everyone is a different major, so they bring in a unique mindset, and that's really helpful for us because we face challenging problems daily. So what happens is that we're able to create unique solutions to solve these challenging problems, which also turns us into better academics. I'd also like to thank our advisors that have let us go through challenging problems as well and help make the venture grow tremendously. And yeah, this is Seedling.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Keep it going one more time. This is great stuff. All right, so y'all, we at halftime. I don't want y'all to get too fidgety. The back end of our presentations is going to be amazing. It's going to blow you away, I promise. But in the meantime, I want you to get up. I want you to move. I want you to stretch. If you need to get some water, you can. We're going to take about 2 minutes to let everybody get loose, and then we'll get started on the second half of the presentations. Before.
You can do it now.
Yeah, if I can find him. Yeah. You grab it, Lynn. I also see a few folks just got here. If you just got here, feel free to find a seat. We got plenty of seats at the front of the room. All right. Also, there is still food left. There is still food left. All right, we got about 1 minute and 30 seconds and we're gonna get back. We're gonna get started. 1 minute and 30 seconds and we'll get started. All right, let's make our way back to our seats so we can continue the program. And this was just a quick stretch break, just a quick stretch break. We got about 45 seconds, and we're gonna get started again. Thirty seconds, 30 seconds. Make your way. If you just got here, we have a lot of seats in the front still available. If folks are sitting on the edges and wants to get closer, you can. There is room. All right, let's settle in. Let's settle in. We're about to get started. So while we're transitioning, we'll do another alumni highlight. Bree Jones from Parity Homes recently raised $2 million from JP Morgan and Chase to increase Black homeownership in West Baltimore. Let's clap for that. Let's definitely clap for that. Bree was in my cohort, y'all. She won the cohort prize when I was in Social Innovation Lab. Absolutely amazing work she's doing. So another example of our alumni going on to do amazing things, raising a lot of money, making a lot of money, but most importantly, making a whole lot of impact. All right, and so before we move any further, I got a question. Is there anyone in the audience who has some sort of social enterprise, nonprofit, or small business that has not been in the Social Innovation Lab before? Raise your hand. Ooh, that's a lot of folks. Okay, so I'm expecting to see all of you apply for Social Innovation Lab next year. Yeah, can we clap for that? Let's clap for that. Clap for that. So good to see so many entrepreneurs in the room. That makes me happy. All right, so next up. Looking like. All right, next up. We got Rise Arts. All right. I didn't even have to give an introduction. Y'all showing us so much love already, so I'm just gonna let her do her thing. Without further ado, Cameron Giggers, go.
Okay, can y'all hear me? Hello, how you doing? Oh, I am Cameron Jiggers. I am the executive director and founder of Rise Arts Center of Baltimore. Rise stands for Reach for Your Dreams, Inspire Creativity, Stay Focused, and Evolve to Step into Your Purpose, which is what we desire for each of our students. Your voice matters. I want to tell you a quick story. Back in 2016, after moving back home as a professional actress, I started my teaching career at the Harbor School, which is a school for kids with special needs. I was the performing arts teacher and director there, and I worked with a group of students from many different backgrounds of all different learning abilities: ADD, ADHD, autism, mental illnesses, you name it. I worked with them. One student in particular was autistic and nonverbal. In her academic classes, she had a very difficult time focusing. She had a one-to-one assistant that would help her scribe and speak for her, and she had a very difficult time building relationships with other people in her class. However, when she came to performing arts, she shined. We worked with her over the course of 4 years, and by the end of her first year, she was able to stand on stage and sing and perform in front of an audience of over 100 people. Yes, you can clap. That is huge. Yes. That was when I really realized the impact of arts education, specifically on neurodiverse youth and young adults. Upon graduation, many of my parents will come and ask me, well, what does my child do next? I know that there are other opportunities out there, but all that's given to them is janitorial services or customer services. I want them to expand their horizons and do what I know that they're capable of doing, but there aren't any opportunities out there for them. So I began to research, what are the problems
that people with disabilities are facing. According to the CDC, globally, there are 1.3 billion individuals living with intellectual disabilities. 1.3 billion people also lack social and emotional skills. Also, according to the CDC, 46% of individuals living in the state of Maryland have an intellectual disability. According to the Wall Street Journal, neurodiverse adults have more than an 80% of an unemployment rate, which is unfortunate because in the state of Maryland, and more specifically in Baltimore City, there are 0 neurodiverse workforce development programs for people with disabilities that focus in the arts and start at an earlier age. Yeah. And in Baltimore City Public Schools, we have 10,500 youth who identify with having a disability. People with disabilities are being marginalized. The opportunities aren't out there for them. So how can we solve that? I found the solution. Through performing arts, psychologist studies show that contact with the performing arts supports social and economic inclusion and triggers empowerment in youth with disabilities. Additionally, the arts in general have a way of empowering our youth to self-advocate for themselves, build communication skills in order to maintain and obtain a job in the field of their choice. That is how I came up with RISE. Our mission is to nurture the social, emotional well-being and the creative skill set of youth and young adults with intellectual disabilities in underserved communities through a multifaceted arts education. We want our students to leave our program with the confidence, the advocacy skills, the workforce readiness skills, and all of the things needed to enhance not only their personal lives, but also their future careers. Who do we serve? We currently serve underserved neurodivergent youth and young adults ages 8 to 24 within West and East Baltimore City. We serve students within that age range mainly because at the age of 21, students age out of the school system if they have an individualized education plan or an IEP. So we want them to come to our program. We want to be that hub. Our services include our musical theater experience program, which is currently geared toward students ages 8 to 13. And then we also have our emerging artist program. Both of these programs operate after school in-house at UB Blake and after school at our partner community centers, as well as schools. Our musical theater program is where our students are able to learn about acting, singing, dancing in order to perform their own musical production. If students aren't necessarily interested in the performing arts aspect of our musical theater experience program, we also provide them with the opportunity to be able to write a show and or learn about technical theater to build the set for the show that's being produced. Our emerging artist program also runs 3 times a week after school. And within that program, our students learn about various facets of art, such as fine arts, digital art, and ceramics. And with that knowledge, we help them create their own arts-based business. If students aren't necessarily interested in creating their own arts-based business, we then help them transition from our program to a job in the workforce, specifically in the arts, and we place them with a transitional specialist. Currently, we are funded through grants, as well as in-kind donations and fundraisers. Our revenue model also consists of our school partners, as well as community organizations, where we charge them a fee of $350 per session. We also have our in-house programming, of course, that runs 3 times a week throughout the school year and the summer. We have begun to charge our participants a fee of $80 per week, or they could pay $450 for the quarter. Scholarships are available because we do know our students need that extra support. We also provide professional developments to our community partners, and that fee ranges from $500 to $1,500. And we also are beginning to do more community workshops for the neurodivergent community, and that is on a fee scale of $15 to $100. As we continue to grow and move forward, we want to increase the opportunities for our students. So within our Rising Artists program, not only do we want them to have musical theater, but what about music therapy or digital art? dance. We want to be able to provide them with those experiences. And in our emerging artist program, we want to be able to pay them for the whole entire school year, not just the summer. And we want to be able to provide them with music production as a track that they can choose, as well as fashion design. Within the next 2 years, we want our own facility. We have students who have behavior needs or specific accommodations that will require a sensory room. So we want to be able to provide our own space that has sensory rooms there for them. And as our youth begin to transition out into the workforce more, we want to help them with transportation. So we want to be able to provide them with transportation to and from work, as well as from schools to our in-house programming. Our impact. So we have been in business. We have been a 501c3 nonprofit for the past 4 years. And with that being said, we have reached over 100 neurodivergent youth and young adults. 65% of our individuals that have participated in our program have obtained jobs within the arts and or started their own arts-based business. 35% of our nonverbal participants have stated that they have increased their communication and social skills. And 100% of our students have stated that they feel more confident in their ability to communicate and advocate for themselves. Here we have our partners. We could not do what we do without our partners. So just to shout out a couple of our partners, we have Family League of Baltimore that is here right now, who has been one of our funders over the past year. We also partner with Baltimore City Public Schools, which is how we reach our students and recruit our students to our program. And then we have our startup support, such as Innovation Works. We just participated in their Boost program, which was amazing, as well as the Social Innovation Lab. And of course, not only our partners matter, but also our team. This is a group of amazing individuals that bring so much experience, over 10 years of experience within their art discipline, as well as working with youth and young adults in underserved communities who are neurodiverse. My ask for you today is to connect with us by following us on social media and or going to our website and maybe making a donation to continue to help us expand our program. Again, I am Cameron Jiggers, and this is Rise Arts Center of Baltimore.
Oh man, clap it up, clap it up. That was amazing. The energy. Oh my goodness. If I had $1,000 in my pocket, I would give it to her right now. Amazing. Great work. All right, I told y'all the back end is packed. We got a lot of folks coming through with some amazing transformational work. So we're gonna keep it right on along. Another alumni spotlight, Jamie Wooten Collectively. And we're not talking about raising money for Collectively this time, but he has helped other Black-led social change organizations connect with over $1 million, right? So it's not about him getting the money, but he's helping to fund Black-led organizations in Baltimore so that they can have the impact that they want to have. $1 million since he graduated from SIL. That's amazing work. All right, we clap it up for that. Yeah, we can clap for that. We should definitely clap for Black-led organizations receiving funding because we know oftentimes they don't get it. All right, we're gonna keep it going. Next up, super excited. I am a healthcare guy. I have a health company, and we only have one company focused on health in our cohort this year. So I'm super excited to bring up Ashwarya Torre and Meridian Health.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ashwarya, and I'm the founder of Meridian Health, where we're building a more connected experience for college students to access healthcare. When I was 17, like a lot of my peers that year, I would travel 3,000 miles away from home to start my life on my own for the very first time. As a former health-obsessed athlete, the last thing I would have expected is that over the next 4 years, I would end up in urgent care twice with severe gut health issues and crippling anxiety and depression. I'd see my friends going through eating disorders, abortions, emergency room visits, and more. And the worst part was that all of this was preventable. We talked to over 300 students about what their experiences were like accessing healthcare on campus. And this was by far the most common. Priscilla is an undergraduate freshman who has been getting some stomach aches. She thinks that it's because of her stress, but she'll push it off as much as she can until something happens that triggers her to seek care, something like an anxiety attack. At that point, she will wait at best case scenario 2 weeks for that appointment. Afterwards, she'll tell her counselor, I'm also facing some gut health issues, which he'll say is probably a result of your anxiety, and give her a referral for a therapist. Now the onus is on Priscilla to follow up. She'll call a bunch of healthcare providers and ask them if they accept her health insurance, do a bunch of deep dives on Google to find out, what does she not know? And at the end of the day, she'll realize that this wasn't worth it and give up. And neither of her conditions would have been solved, and she'll probably do the exact same thing next semester. The first thing our team realized was so important to solve were these delays in continuity of care and wait times. And the common determinant on both the university side and the student side was not knowing what students were doing before they were coming into urgent care. But this was a sign of a bigger problem: universities' workflows themselves. Realizing that information was a determinant of health allowed us to think about this on a scale of what are universities doing about this? This lack of information is actually costing them $15 billion a year in students dropping out due to health concerns. And so we talked to over 50 universities and their clinicians, and they cited this access gap as one of the most critical issues, but with no leads on what the next steps were. So we have one. Meridian Health is a tool that college students can use to access healthcare quicker and easier to solve that access gap. Through our AI digital health assistant, students can schedule appointments, follow up on referrals, access their medications, and more. And on the other side, to ensure that there is actually an outcome to these care journeys, we integrate with patient records to bring everything into one collaborative hub, where counseling centers, health centers, student affairs, and more can look at their campus's population health from an aerial perspective, understanding what are the gaps and patterns that need to be allocated in real time. And with this real-time data, they can proactively put out resources into their campus to ensure that their students are supported. We ran a 1-month beta test in March with 250 students across 6 campuses in the Baltimore area, and realized that at the core of it, we were actually solving a much bigger issue: health equity. Students of color were much less likely to trust healthcare institutions. They were much less likely to come from cultures of health. And as a result, they were less likely to ask questions. And so is that, sorry, there's a little lag, but we realized that we needed to target HBCUs first. And so within 2 months of us starting to talk to colleges and universities, we got letters of intent from 3 HBCUs who were really excited to work with us and design our initial contracts. And since then, in just the last 1 month, we've had 12 additional universities join our sales pipeline, and we're really excited to launch at our first universities this fall. Our market opportunity encompasses a couple of different areas. There's university health centers and counseling centers, student athletics departments, and also community health clinics and federally qualified health centers that surround these universities. This way we can create a bigger culture and ecosystem around healthcare, especially for those low-income students who rely on Medicaid. This gives us a unique $3 billion opportunity to meet students where they are as they access healthcare on their own for the very first time in their lives. We also have a significant competitive advantage against other solutions in this space. For one, we're the only ones who can not only access, but collect real-time data. And this also allows us to spearhead a lot of public health research that happens in this realm, especially knowing that in general, we don't know what happens to people before they develop chronic conditions. Focusing on health equity and social determinants is part of that public health focus. And we are able to do all of this because we have taken on this huge technical undertaking of integrating with electronic medical records of each of these patients. We know that not only is selling to universities difficult, but so is this technical undertaking. But our team has been on both sides of this coin. Dr. Micah Griffin used to be the director for university health systems in the past, including Penn State. My operating experience comes from being an early engineer at 3 venture-backed startups, and Shraddha's entire career has been in building natural language processing chatbots. But our work wouldn't be possible without our incredible advisors who have spent a lifetime of work in the public health realm at Google Health, the CDC, NIH, and even payers like the United Health Group. We've been able to accomplish a lot in the last 6 months, but our work is far from over. We will, as of last week, we are part of now a new stakeholders list that allows us to work with nonprofits and other projects already working with the Centers of Medicaid and Medicare Services as a technological partner. As we expand our impact to more than just the Baltimore area, we vie for that University System of Maryland contract. But after that, we're also really excited to first spread to California and North Carolina. We invite you to connect with us today. If you are a college student aged 18 to 26 years old, if you have some university partners that you think we would like to get in touch with, or you would just like to share your stories of accessing healthcare and help us improve our mission in any way. Thank you so much for listening and for supporting our mission.
Yes, yes, yes. I told y'all, we got a great back end. All right, make sure y'all scan that QR code and connect with Meridian is doing for young people in their health. Transformational stuff. All right, we're gonna keep it right on going because I know we're getting close on time. All right, I don't want y'all to get too fidgety too quick. All right, so next up, we got Anthony in phase 3 training, who are doing some amazing work to provide opportunities for young people in Baltimore City to work and make money at a young age and be able to provide for their families. Very excited to hear Anthony Roberts. Let's go.
So firstly, I just want to just show love to my cohort because we've gone through the fire to get to this. Don't worry, we built in time for this, okay? And I also want to thank Josh and I want to thank Anthony for really just being waymakers and connectors to really making us specifically to grow so rapidly. So my name is Anthony Roberts. I'm the founder and executive director of Phase 3 Training Corporation. So let me share a little story with you. Our name, right, was inspired. Actually, we'll go back this way. Our name was inspired by a conversation with my father, who is an certified elevator technician. And his apprenticeship is what was used to elevate our family out of poverty and out of desperate financial situations. And I wanted to create a pathway for young people to do the same. Next, I needed a name, right? And I asked him more about elevators. See, I'm not an elevator technician, but he is. And so I asked him more and more about an elevator and the parts and what makes it work and what makes it tick. As he explained, he said, an elevator needs 3 phases of electricity to properly run. And as he told me that, I said, Dad, I think you're onto something. And he said, yeah, whatever, right? But the light bulb went off. And I was like, that's going to be the name of the movement, the project, Phase 3 Training. The need. I have some stats up here. They're quite dismal, but this is all from our 2020 census in Baltimore. And I believe that through Phase 3, a lot of these things can be addressed. I remember when I was working at Maryland State Department, witnessing how difficult it was for job seekers to land a gig that could afford them their own place, childcare, the list goes on. But I wanted to see a change in Baltimore City because I lived here. And I wanted to see Baltimore City residents have a fair chance at a lucrative career who are not going to college. we took the elevator technician as our unique niche offering and used that as the foundation of our organization, both literally and metaphorically. We aimed to elevate the world. And there's an opportunity to do this through this program. Our team of stakeholders, both employer partners and industry partners, helped us to create a clear pathway to achieving our vision and to take someone from high school to a nationally certified mechanic, making six-figure income. Can I get a hand? That's amazing, right? And can I just say that we are saving lives? Don't ask me, ask social determinants of health. So we just didn't stop at level 1 or the first floor. We took it further when we noticed that our community also had interest in other trades, in the electrical and HVAC trades. Therefore, we added those programs, and now phase 3 today offers 3 tracks, 3 different trades. And here is our model for the 3 tracks, beginning with high school, out of school youth, and then into apprenticeship. We are super excited about our summer boost program, which is our summer paid internship for our young people. So those who have come through our Young Builders program in high school will now during the summer get 25 hours a week of hands-on training and get paid for it. And so here is a diagram of what this is going to look like. All 30 of our students who've been sponsored in part by Baltimore City Public Schools and YouthWorks will be able to touch and get immersed into 3 different trades, both with hands-on and possible certification. We are intentional about providing a path to greatness, and that includes the whole person. So we've partnered with other community organizations to provide guardrails for our young people as they embark on a challenging journey to the workforce. And these are a list of our partners. We have more, but I want to keep it short for you. So for every $1 invested, we have seen up to $4 of economic impact in Baltimore City. And let me explain this. With a $100,000 grant, with at least 10 students, when we put them into their apprenticeship this fall, they will begin at $23 an hour, which is roughly 46,000 times 10 students is $460,000 coming to Baltimore City in economic activity. That is amazing. Can I get a hand clap for that? And what's more beautiful is that the longer they stay and complete their apprenticeship, the impact quintuples. At year 2, it becomes a 1-to-6 ratio. Year 3, it's a 1-to-10 ratio. Year 4, I think we're in the 20s, right? But when they finish their apprenticeship, they're at 6 figures at $50 an hour. Huge. So if you value this work, because I know we have some funders in the room, if you value the work and appreciate the vision the mission we're trying to accomplish, help us to reach our goal of our next 100,000 to get a cohort from high school to registered apprenticeship. Thank you.
Thank you. That is transformational work, man. I can't imagine being 17, 18 years old, coming out of high school, no plans to go to college, and being able to come out and make $23 an hour, and then graduate an apprenticeship with $50 an hour at 20 years old. It's amazing work, and it's important work that we need. Anthony is always so modest. I always tell him he should, brag a lot more about the work that he does. I think he did an okay job today. But it's just so much potential and so much of a need for workforce development in those skilled trades, especially when we're building up Baltimore the way that we are. All right, we're gonna keep it right on going. How y'all feeling? Y'all good? Can I get another 5? Yeah. All this great work, man. All of this great work. All this great work. All right, next up. All right, before we get into our next speaker, one more alumni shout out. Everybody knows her, the great Brittany Young. They're raising millions of dollars and they're getting close to their number to build the first dirt bike park and resource center for Baltimore City youth in the state of just another example of the fine work that alumni from Social Innovation Lab are doing. I also wanted to take a second to acknowledge Darius Graham, who was in the building, the first ever director of the Social Innovation Lab. This is pretty cool. We got the founder of Social Innovation Lab to come out and also the first director. So that's amazing. It's amazing. All right. Without further ado, I am going to introduce finalists for Baltimore City Public Schools Teacher of the Year. With the innovative peer tutoring project that is changing the way that students learn in classrooms. Without further ado, over to Lena and the Baltimore City Writings.
Hi, everyone. I'm super humbled to be in conversation, and especially join in with so many education-based and inspired cohorts and organizations. My name is Lena Tashjan, and I am the proud founder and director of the Baltimore High School Writing Center, a student-led academic support to talk to you about. Before I tell you a little bit more about who we are and what we do, I want to talk to you about our academic landscape. So the Writing Center exists inside Baltimore City Public Schools, which is an urban public school district that serves approximately 77,000 students, the majority of whom are students of color who are coming from low-income backgrounds. Like many urban public school districts in the country, city schools is underfunded and under-resourced, which leads to strong academic impact on our students. In some cases, our pre-K students hear 30 million fewer words. In kindergarten, they're demonstrating less academic readiness. By the 4th and 8th grade, they're achieving lower reading, math, and test scores. In high school, they're less likely to graduate. And in college, they're less likely to enroll and finish. This is in no way a reflection of their abilities. This is a product of systemic inequities. And it's something I started thinking a lot about as a 20-year career educator, thinking about what I could do to address this problem in a way that's really student-centered and holistic. So that's when I created the Baltimore City College High School Writing Center. So you're looking at this year's cohort of incredible tutors. The Writing Center is a peer-led tutoring space designed to provide students with reading and writing support to strengthen their academic performance, build their confidence, and foster a growth mindset. Our sessions empower students and create equity both in and out of the classroom. So what is the Writing Center? How does it work? The most important thing to know about the Writing Center, that is student-led, okay? So we hire tutors who are interested in supporting their peers. Once they're hired, we train them on both an academic and social emotional skill set. Once our tutors are hired, we open our center for client sessions. Our clients visit the center independently by teacher recommendation, and our sessions are client-driven and collaborative. You see kids here working with each other and all working collectively to kind of close gaps. So when we first opened in 2014, we were actually able to provide 66 peer tutoring sessions a month, and we had no idea that those numbers would grow exponentially year after year. This current school year, 2022, 2023, we're seeing approximately 400 sessions a month, and that's a 600% increase from where we started. To date, 9 years after opening our doors, we have been able to provide 8,000 plus peer tutoring sessions, all of which have completely radically impacted our school community and culture, leading to increased GPAs, improved attendance in our students, increased graduation rates, and increased academic confidence in all of our students, which is the absolutely most important goal that we have in the Writing Center. What's really interesting is that we were able to see very quickly the ways in which our sessions closed the gap entirely within our own school community. Prior to opening our doors, we were seeing about 20% of students enrolled in IB, or the International Baccalaureate Program, which is the highest level of coursework we offer in our school and also nationwide. The remainder of our students were taking standard level classes. 3 years after we opened our doors, we became 100% IB, fully eliminating standard level classes altogether. Thank you. So not only do our sessions positively impact our clients, but they positively impact our tutors as well. So here you see a small number of our senior tutors who are heading off to college next year, majority of whom have received academic scholarships for their work. They are planning on continuing their tutoring journey on the college level and entering a variety of professional fields, from business to communications to education. Keita Williams that you see in the top right, left, wherever we are, is attending the University of Maryland on a full ride scholarship for 4 years to study to become a secondary English teacher like myself, which is just an honor for me. She says, being a tutor has allowed me to grow academically and individually, giving me the opportunity to embrace my passion to serve urban communities. So we very much are invested in the work of supporting our students, but we also want to pour into our own community. So very quickly after opening our doors and starting our peer tutoring journey, we started presenting at local and regional conferences, specifically about our equity and social justice work. We founded a district-wide peer tutoring conference for all of Baltimore City Public Schools for free. And we also founded and developed a professional learning community for educators interested in opening their own peer tutoring programs. This year, we have succeeded in starting Digital Harbor's Writing Center that's opening next year. We have also been rewarded for our work. We've received generous accolades. We were able to get the Maryland Governor's Award for Youth Leadership. This year, I was a finalist for Teacher of the Year, and I also received a Baltimore City Council resolution for community impact. So believe it or not, we were able to achieve all of this impact with absolutely no funding. We have never had a single drop of, we haven't had a cent or a dollar to date. Okay, this is our first grant opportunity moment. But we have even bigger aspirations. We want to help to build our peer tutoring programs, to build them nationally. And so we founded the Believe and Achieve Peer Tutoring Association because we remain committed to educational equity work. We're specifically looking to work with urban public schools, and our target customer will be urban public school districts, and our end user will remain tutors and clients who will be serviced free of charge. Our revenue model is exactly what we've been offering to Baltimore City Public Schools for free. That includes school-based consulting, our peer tutoring conference, our tutor training curriculum, and professional development for educators. So what's our competitive advantage? First and foremost, it's the fact that we're student-driven. We're student-run, student-centered, and student-driven. We are not bringing in adults from the outside. This is a grassroots, ground-up organization. We foster a growth mindset. We provide holistic support for our students. We operate within a culturally relevant and responsive framework, and we leverage the expertise and skills of our own students in combination that works to fundamentally revolutionize learning. And because we believe in our students to such an extent, our Believe and Achieve team will consist of our tutor alumni from 2014 to present. Our alumni will serve on the Believe and Achieve advisory and executive board. They will be hired to implement our business model across school districts, and they will therefore radically transform teaching and learning in urban schools nationwide. We thank you so much for listening to our journey and hearing a little bit more about our work. You're welcome to follow us on social media at BCC Writing Center. That QR code takes you to the brand new website designed by one of my 10th grade tutors, Hermes Rosario. In fact, our new Believe and Achieve Association logo was created by another 10th grade tutor. And much of this presentation was actually produced by our current tutors today. So this is all a collaborative experience. I'm just a spokesperson for the kids. And it just reminds you that when you give the kids create a space for them to lead, they will absolutely change the world. And we're just here to watch that happen. Thank you so much.
Yes, yes, yes. Clap it up. Amazing. I told y'all. Great stuff. Absolutely phenomenal. I went to Dunbar, so I'm not gonna hold it against you that you started this at City, but it's all good. It's cool. All right, y'all, we got one more presentation. Can we get a hand for all of our presenters so far? I mean, amazing work across the board. And it's gonna be hard. Y'all gotta pick. Y'all gotta vote. I hope y'all been taking notes, trying to figure out what team you're gonna vote for. You get to choose your top 3. Y'all gonna choose 2 $4,000 prize winners. So make sure you're paying attention. We're gonna show you how to do that in just a minute. But before that, we got one more great presentation. So Bromo is changing the fashion industry and specifically in Baltimore, bringing back the needle trades. I'll let them tell you the rest. Clap it on up for So Bromo.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for making it to the end of all these wonderful presentations. Been so supportive and patient. So we are So Bromo.
Hello, I'm Stacy Stoop, founder of So Bromo,
And I'm Nicole Myrick, fashion director of So Bromo.
Baltimore's fashion education incubator, where we are moving the needle forward for today's makers.
Once upon a time, Baltimore was home to some of America's finest garment factories, specializing in men's tailoring, utilitarian uniforms, and accessories.
But by the 1970s, as home economics disappeared from school curriculums, the industry leapt into fast off-the-rack fashion, and we began to lose these heritage skills.
Baltimore's factories shut down, fashion colleges don't teach these heritage skill sets anymore, and those who still have these skills are moving to work in industries that pay better or they're simply dying out. And yet, we've seen a growing resurgence of interest in making, DIY, sewing, and countless people rediscovering the joy of creating. But very few of these resources offer training in high-level industrial sewing skill sets. Imagine pursuing your passion, but never graduating beyond 101 level courses.
Before returning to my hometown of Baltimore, I had been working in the luxury fashion industry for over 20 years between the US, Europe, and Asia. In 2016, I worked for one of Baltimore's last garment factories. And it wasn't until 2 legends of the garment industry died that suddenly I got serious about it. In the red brick building of my childhood backyard, we created So Bromo, a fashion education incubator, where we host intensive classes for all makers, from those just starting out to those looking for more advanced techniques.
When I met Stacy, I'd been working for a competitor factory, and we saw that industry knowledge was not being shared. So together, we created Access. Our classes are taught by some of the world's leading industry professionals, and we have a fashion network of people from top ateliers such as Versace.
Our students select from a fashion menu of courses ranging from $350 per class to $2,000 for a 3-day intensive. You'll learn key skill sets from beginner sewing to advanced techniques in only a few hours. Most importantly, we offer fashion business courses, which we teach to fashion entrepreneurs who are the founders of tomorrow, covering wholesale training and overall business basics. We offer consultations in 101 form and open studio time for people to experiment with new equipment and advance their techniques.
We have incubated many impact-driven fashion entrepreneurs who have won venture competitions, run successful crowdfunding campaigns, and have gone on to produce goods that fill a gap in the market.
Since we've started, we've not only supported Baltimore entrepreneurs, but now have an international reach. We also offer referrals for small batch manufacturing and professional prototype services. We've advised many diverse startups whose products are sold locally and nationally in stores like REI. As you can see, So Bromo uplifts makers, artists, entrepreneurs, and people just like you.
For the future of So Bromo, we're bringing the makerspace straight to you with Cutwork, fashion education in a box. Students will receive a beautifully curated box with a link to an instructional video, accompanied by pre-cut pieces, notions, and trims. You can learn to sew one of So Bromo's original designs at home. Boxes will retail for $250. These boxes are prepared by our needle trade all-stars who are returning citizens, making a difference through fashion, and are paid $20 an hour for their services.
Whether you're a beginner, a fashionista, a fully fledged textile artist and entrepreneur, or even an at-home maker, at SoBromo, we will give you the tools, knowledge, and expertise to put you on track for success. We've truly come a long way. SoBromo began with our very first pilot in 2019 in the famous Bromo Seltzer building, before running 2 additional programs with our partners. We needed a permanent space, so in January of 2021, I ran 200 miles in 8 days to secure funding for our current facility, which we launched publicly in March. This year, we will see the launch of Cutwork. With regard to revenue, our previous small spaces limited our capacity to 17 students per month. With our new expanded space and online education channel, we have the capacity to 150 students. That brings us to $450,000 in projected revenue for our in-house and online classes in 2024.
Baltimore's garment and needle trades industry is experiencing a rebirth. What started in an artist's studio is on track to surpass 20,000 square feet by the end of 2023, with projections to expand beyond an additional 50,000 square feet by the end of 2024. Paris is known for haute couture, London is known for fine tailoring, and Baltimore is becoming the capital city for impact-driven fashion entrepreneurship.
As the founder and fashion president of SoBromo, I brought together a passionate team of industry veterans, needle trade all-stars, and new talent with a combined experience of over a century in fashion. Our ask is a simple one. We are looking for contacts and connections. We're eager to meet with mailbox order subscription companies, as well as anyone experienced in e-learning best practices.
We are eager to learn because we are deeply passionate about preserving heritage skills to uplift the makers of tomorrow. We hope you'll come join us. We're saving you a seat in the makerspace at SoBromo.
Thank you.
All right, one more time, one big standing ovation for all 10 of our team. Amazing, amazing, amazing work they all did. All right, that was 6 long, hard months of work that led to them creating some powerful social impact organizations. All right, so I'm gonna bring up Sephora, who's gonna walk us through the next steps, and you all are gonna get to vote for who you think should win our Audience Choice Award.
Thank you, Anthony. Can we get another rousing applause for our entrepreneurs one last time? So just a refresher for those that might have came a bit late, the Cohort Prize is actually selected already by the cohort in the spirit of community centeredness and in the spirit of community leadership. We are asking you to choose our 2 lucky winners for $4,000. It's a tough pick. Glad I'm not in y'all seats, but again, we appreciate y'all time, taking the time out of your busy lives to really sit here and support them. So go ahead and use your phone to scan that QR code or go to slido.com and type in those digits. So the 5 minutes begin now. And while y'all are doing that, also want to give some logistics and shout outs to FFU. Oh, okay. Don't worry, there's also another slide, but I'm gonna give y'all like another 30 seconds if you need to scan. Okay, I see some phones still up. Hold on. Oh. Seems you are not required to vote for this as you already voted, so. Okay, see a couple more folks taking. Yeah, all right. So while y'all are deliberating, want to spend some time giving y'all access to our current platforms. We are available on ventures.jhu.edu. And we also have a monthly newsletter put out by our lovely Elena talking about all things Fast Forward U, as well as Social Innovation Lab. Feel free to connect with us on our Instagram as well. And we're constantly figuring out other ways to connect with our audience via LinkedIn, Twitter, and even Facebook. Okay. As we already discussed, Social Innovation Lab is a program that runs once a year for 6 months. And we're constantly sourcing and seeking budding entrepreneurs that have already established existing nonprofits, social enterprises, or even just curious and just starting out and want to understand how to do whatever idea you're thinking about ethically and sustainably. So take a second to read over, think about the criteria, and we're also always thinking 2 degrees ahead. So even if you yourself don't have an idea right now, but know someone that does and might need that extra push, we sincerely encourage you to tell them to seek us out, apply, contact us if they have any questions. And in that spirit of accessibility, super excited to bring back Impact Bootcamp. Impact Bootcamp is an ad hoc program that we make available to community members seeking a 1-day intensive training, helping you develop the skills and industry knowledge to understand how you can make a positive impact in your community from a social entrepreneurial lens. So regardless of whether you have an idea or are just starting out and looking for ways to understand what is a social enterprise and how does that relate to me, we strongly encourage everyone in this room to come. It is June 24th, so coming up in about a month and change. Feel free to scan that QR code. We are accepting registration as early as today. Tell a friend, tell a mom, tell your neighbor, tell your mailman. We really want this to pack the room with folks that are doing good and seeking how to build and establish better. More details forthcoming. So with that, I'm going to leave the QR code on the projector for anybody that might have missed it or accidentally, blocked out or canceled out the slide and you just want another chance. And I'm going to give the next few minutes for y'all to deliberate. We're going to take your results and follow through. So with that, I'll leave you to it.
All right, so we're gonna give you a couple more minutes to vote. All right, and then we're gonna be announcing our Audience Choice Award winners and also our $20,000 cohort prize. All right, so go ahead, take your time. I know it's hard, right? I know it's hard. There was a lot of good teams on that list. There's a lot of good teams on that list. Okay, if you're having trouble with that second link, go back and try this link. This link works better. If anybody had trouble with the link, this link works better. Yeah, so we noticed some technical difficulties with the other slide. So if you had any trouble, just use this QR code. This one should work. We are gonna close the polls in 1 minute. We're gonna close the polls in 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. It's time, everybody. It's time. Uh, uh, all right, you all, we are ready. Could I have your attention, please? It is time. It is time. It is time to announce our winners. I'm nervous and I'm not even in the voting. All right, so to announce our first Audience Choice Award, we are going to bring up the first director of Social Innovation Lab, Darius Graham, to introduce.
Hi. Thanks, everyone. I am Darius Graham. I had the honor and privilege of being the first director of Social Innovation Lab, and it's so great to be back here tonight. I currently work at the Weinberg Foundation, and so it's so great to see that at least two of our grantees are here pitching tonight. If you have a 501c3 organization in Baltimore City focusing on housing, health, jobs, or education, check out our website and see if there might be a funding opportunity for you and reach out. But for now, I have the honor of announcing one of the first winners, which is Seedling. Congrats.
All right, all right, all right. Give it up for Sealand one more time. Audience Choice winner. All right, next up, Sephora is gonna announce our second Audience Choice Award winner.
All right, thank you all so much once again. Truly, truly honored to present this second cohort prize. This is a founder that has worked really hard and has shown tremendous improvement over the course of these last 6 months. And I couldn't be prouder to present our Audience Choice Award to Rise.
All right, y'all, now it's time. All right, this last award was voted on by our cohort. So everybody on the cohort had to vote, and you couldn't vote for yourself. So this is someone that the cohort has unanimously decided that they feel will have great impact in Baltimore City with the work that they do, and are excited to see them grow. And to announce our 2023 $20,000 cohort prize winner, we have our 2020 Social Innovation Lab cohort prize winner, Winifred, here to announce the prize.
Hi, you guys. I'm Winifred A. Winston. I'm the founder and executive director of Dyslexia Advocation. We help parents and adults access quality, affordable remediation for struggling readers. We also help businesses integrate neurodiversity into the workplace for improved performance and success. DEIA stands for dyslexia, executive function disorder, including ADHD and access. I am so excited tonight. I won online virtual. So I know y'all see me walking around because this is my first time in person. I looked at all of you guys. I felt like I met you before because I knew your story. So without any further ado, I'm going to announce tonight's winner. I want the things like this. The 2023 Social Innovation Lab cohort winner of the $20,000 grand prize is Baltimore City College.
All right, so now, Lena, you can't say that you're doing this without any funding anymore. Congratulations on our $20,000 award winner. Speech.
Oh my, y'all, I'm shaking. I literally said the entire time I was in the cohort, like I'm behind all the people, and I feel like truly I am, because everybody has had just remarkable impact on every level imaginable. And I'm just, one step at a time, and we haven't had a single dollar to our name for 9 years. But I can't, I'm just starting to try to imagine, like, paying the children for their labor, like, like allowing them to really earn what they deserve rather than finding 2, 3 after school jobs that take them, all over town, all hours of the night, coming home, not being able to do their homework, and really just getting the money to work with each other and move each other forward in ways that I know they can do, and they've been showing us that they can do for years and years and years and years. This is going to revolutionize the lives of so many young people. I'm super grateful to my incredible cohort. Like, y'all are everything. You're amazing. I can't wait to continue to work with you, to partner with you in every way imaginable. Like, this is for all the people. Thank you so much.
We're gonna take pictures there. All right, so the rest of the evening is for you to meet someone you've never met before, talk to the folks in the cohort, exchange information. We're gonna take some pictures. We wanna thank you all for being here, for spending 3 hours with us. Is there food? We got to-go containers and aluminum foil over on the side. Take the food with you, please. Thank you all for coming. Give yourselves a round of applause. I need the cohort to the front of the room. Can I have the Social Innovation Lab cohort to the front of the room?